radio show where I pull cards and play all the bangers on Stationhead in the description. Hey babes, and welcome back to Jazz's Angel Number Tarot. It is a different vibe over here because today we're tapping into the sign of Cancer. For your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, wherever you have the Cancerian placement in your chart, you can apply this to. Before I get started, check me out on Etsy in the description below for your protection. That's the only place you can get a private reading from me. Like this video, please. Subscribe to my channel and check out my completely free radio show and the playbacks for each show in the description below. It is super fun. It's a vibe. We pull cards, we listen to music, and yeah, Cancer, let's get into what's going on with you guys. Okay, let's see what is going on with you guys. So first of all, we have Commander Ashtar. This one says call to action, take charge, lead by example, and walk your talk. So right away, Cancer, I'm feeling like you're about to experience something. This honestly feels like you're about to be called to basically walk your talk. And that's what it says on the card. Like basically you're being, I don't want to say tested because it's not really tested, but it's like, okay, you've learned all of these new things. Now you're having to put them into action. Now you're having to actually practice what you preach, live out these lessons and things that you've been learning. We have Cernunnos with Life Force. Express your driving passion. Sensual powers are increased right now. So a lot of sacral chakra activity. If you know, you know. If you're feeling like you have all this energy or all this sensual energy and need to really be physical and intimate with people, it's because of this additional power that you've been given right now, Cancer, to essentially kind of deal with what you're about to encounter. So this is very interesting. We have Saint Germain. Karma releasing, move beyond drama, create your own path, make room for good energy. So this definitely kind of feels like a test, but it's not in the sense of a test, pass or fail. Like typically we get tests from the universe and it's like kind of like a placement test where the universe will test you. Kind of like if you go to a new school, you may have to take a placement test and they see, okay, which grade are you supposed to be in, like depending on what you know, what you've already learned. Not that kind of test. It's just like, I mean, I guess it is, but honestly, it's kind of hard to explain. Hopefully you guys pick up on the energy and you can kind of feel it, but move beyond drama. I'm getting a second chance with this, Cancer, and I'm getting a test of sorts, but not in the typical way. And maybe that's a part of the ambiguity of it all, why I can't really articulate it, because it's something that is to truly be experienced firsthand. It's truly a test of, okay, how are you going to navigate through here? So I feel like there's even a barrier maybe between me and getting the information right now, just because it's like there's no cheat sheet to this. Like you're really going to be tested, you know? We have Paul the Venetian. Now this says experiencing grace, which is like the saving grace of this spread, because it's like, don't be worried about it at the same time. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. Yeah, this is a huge, huge opportunity to create, Cancer. A huge opportunity to create a new life, and it's going to be depending on what you do with this new situation. Like there's like for an example, for some of you, there's a new job that you've just started or that's coming up. So for some of you, this is a new romantic partner, and depending on, it's really kind of like you're in the lead. It's a game of choices, and the choices that you make will determine where this goes. Do you end up like super high up in the company within a year because of the choices that you make, because you go in with the intention to do so? Or do you kind of go in meek, like you've gone before and expecting, and hoping that someone gives you a promotion, when you know that hoping and wishing never gets you anywhere? You got to be more aggressive than that. Like, or in love, are you going to fall into your toxic traits and therefore turn someone off? Or are you going to allow someone to get away with too much and set the expectation that they don't have to respect you? It's like the decisions that you make, Cancer, will definitely heavily impact how the situation goes. Interesting. I'm really feeling you in the lead, though, Cancer. That's a pretty consistent energy coming through? Ooh, this is so interesting. Okay, let's see. What are the messages for Cancer? I just heard baby. Okay, some of you guys are the baby. Some of you guys are the baby in the workplace. Some of you guys are like at square one. I don't feel like that's a pregnancy energy, but wow. The Two of Swords in reverse and the Two of Cups here. So there's definitely a chance of harmony, and it's like no longer just conceptualized anymore. You know those people who will talk about like all the conspiracy theories that they know, people who will talk about like all of these different like just conspiracies and like, you know, odd things and like things that not a lot of people know or not a lot of people believe, but like they still live a very subpar life. Like you would think someone with so much information and knowledge would be like thriving. You know what I'm talking about? Like those people who will lecture you or talk to you like for hours about something, but just they don't live the life though. It's literally, which is why I don't even like the word conspiracy theory. I don't like that word associated with otherworldly topics, just because it diminishes the value and it kind of makes it so it's not even a real thing. But that's like a whole other conversation, to be honest. But I just get this energy where it's like, okay, Two of Swords in reverse, like gloves are off. Like this is real life. This is really happening. So you're really being called to practice what you preach. And this is a chance to have a Two of Cups relationship. I'm seeing a harmonious relationship for you guys. Knight of Cups in reverse, King of Pentacles in reverse, Nine of Wands in reverse. This is the first time you're actually experiencing whatever this is. I can definitely tell you that. King of Pentacles in reverse, you know, you're lost. Knight of Cups in reverse, you feel kind of weak. You feel like you don't have the knowledge to get through this. You're really going to have to trust your gut. You're really going to have to trust your intuition. It's going to be so, so important, Cancer, that you're tapped into your intuition right now, because you really are the baby in the situation, yet you're taking the lead. And it's just like one of those weird situations where it's like you don't even understand how you got here or how you got, you know, a hold of so much responsibility, like but you're the chosen one. Okay, those two cards wanted to pop out. Another two. You may be seeing some 222. That's the third two we've got here. Yeah, this isn't theory anymore. Like, oh wow, I just heard you're not in Kansas anymore. Wow. Wow. Yeah, this is something that you've known, and it's like, wow. Like, for an example, if you're, you know, someone very emotionally involved or evolved, you've been through a lot of relationships, you may have learned it's important to have space in a relationship, or it's important to have separate identities. This is like you going into a relationship and enforcing that space. Like, this is like you going into a relationship and creating those boundaries, even though everything is so magical and you just want to be around them all the time. This is you having to take the lead to say, okay, but we're going to have space apart from each other because it's something that you know is necessary down the line. Whereas most people will just allow themselves to just, you know, go ahead and keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper and closer and closer. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, your partner doesn't want to be around you at all anymore, because it's like they're truly overloaded and overwhelmed and it's too late. So you're being called to like really play your cards right, and you're fully immersed in this experience, Cancer. It's scary, it's fun, it's exciting, it's like everything all at once. But it is something that you've never experienced. So we have the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles here. This reminds me of this thread I saw on Twitter, and it was like, you're Beyonce's assistant for the day, don't get fired. And it was literally like these different choices that you could choose in the Twitter thread. If you know, you know. If you've ever done it, you may want to try to find it, because it's actually super fun and funny, but it just reminds me of that. Or like a game of Episode, if you've ever played anything on that app. There's also like different video games that have this concept. You guys get it. But it's like, seriously, your choices do matter. But if you go into this blindly, Cancer, and if you're not mindful of the choices that you're making, you're really gonna lose it, you know? You're gonna lose. Because that Five of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, oh, It's like, it's fun, but it's definitely a challenge. It's fun, but it's definitely not a game. Eight of Swords in reverse, you know, you have a deep knowing, but it's hard because you have to kind of fight against your desire to just enjoy it, you know. And there will be a period of enjoyment, but only if you come out the end in this Queen of Swords position. Only if you play your cards right will you truly get that opportunity to just enjoy everything. But the enjoyment comes after all of the lessons and the tests. And it's like, I just heard someone's inner dialogue. You're like, why does it have to be this way? Why can't I just enjoy? Listen, the earth is evolving. Society is evolving. There's informations being released in June about UFOs and, you know, aliens and other forces. Like, we're not in the time anymore where everything is just about enjoyment. And also, enjoyment has been a huge distraction to keep us stuck where we are as well. Over enjoyment. So it's just like, sorry, I keep getting on these rants. I can't help it. There's so many downloads coming in right now, Cancer. And I'm a Cancer myself. Duh, makes sense. I'm like, why do I feel all this energy? Because you're a Cancer, Miss Mamas. So yeah, I feel the downloads as well, but you guys can definitely expect some weird dreams, some huge advances in your psychic gifts. Like, there's a lot going on for you right now, Cancer. We got the Page of Cups in reverse and the Eight of Wands in reverse. So you're living in the moment. And things happened, you know, out of nowhere. All of this happened out of nowhere. It's like, literally, man, it's like the first day everything just changes and you're like, I've only been at this job for a day. I've only been at this job for a week. And it's like all of this craziness. Whoo, soulmate and unrequited love. Crazy. For those of you who are dealing with this in a romance kind of way, like, buckle up, buttercup. Soulmate, yes, this is your soulmate. Unrequited love, there's not enough chemistry or attraction to keep this relationship going. That is the universe literally confirming this could be your absolute soulmate. This, for those of you dealing with this in terms of romance, this is your soulmate. But you can run this relationship into a place where there is no more love and you don't get to be with your soulmate, which, you know, we all have free will, so not everyone chooses to be with their soulmate anyway. But this honestly feels like there's such a huge reward here. This honestly feels like, you know, this could be a forever thing. But you have to set that standard in the beginning, and it's like, man, first impressions matter so much. It's not about first impressions in the sense of, okay, do I look good? Do I act, you know, a certain kind of way that they like? It's more about like building the foundation of the relationship. So you're being called to jump into this relationship. You're jumping right away into a relationship. But instead of like just being in that honeymoon energy, your goal is to build a solid foundation. After you build that solid foundation, then you get to experience, you know, even more than the honeymoon phase, so much more, because you have this basis of mutual understanding. You know what your person needs, you know, they know what you need through communication. First of all, there is communication, there's good communication. You don't let things slide, even though you're a Cancer and you just want to nurture everyone, or you are, you know, very forgiving. Like, this isn't the time. This is like, you really have to be strong. You really have to, take the lead on this one. And it's an intense energy. We have forgiving and learning and make the effort. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps that you're guided to take. Yeah, so it's like, you know, I guess it is a test in a way. I just don't feel like that word is fitting, but in a way it is a test. Great love, if you really want this love to last, it's worth taking the time to slow down. And it's not like you'll never get to enjoy it, but the foundation has to be built first, and Rome wasn't built in a day. So it's like, you got to build that foundation and then you get to enjoy it. Forgiving and learning, as you released and heal from the past, you experience more love in present moments. So some of you are being called to release your toxic traits. Like, maybe you have you know, some traits about you that kind of make you feel more loved. but aren't actually healthy for a relationship. Like maybe you have communication barriers, or you know, things that kind of hold you back, and you're being called to not succumb to those and to get out of that energy where you are subject to those anymore. Like for an example, if you like take hours to respond even though you see a message because in the past, you know, your past partner ridiculed you for being too excited or being too giddy, they didn't allow you to be happy at all. You may still do that, and this person may take that as you being disinterested, so you're being asked to return back and find the middle ground. We got the 6 of air and the 4 of water from this deck. 6 of air, the end of challenging times, things are looking up, a welcome relief, finding your way to a peaceful place, the end of a depression or illness, travel or relocation. The 4 of water, failing to recognize a magical opportunity, missing the point, the distractions of daily life, discontentment and boredom, lost in your own world, wake up. So that was definitely a big message throughout this entire spread. Like, you know, failing to recognize that this is a huge opportunity, missing the point, the distraction of daily life, or the distraction of just being with your partner every day and how fun it is and how loving they are and really enjoying that. Versus also realizing that, you know, though you do get to enjoy some of it, this is also, you know, something that needs to be built on a firm foundation in order to work out long term. We have the Knight of Water, the King of Water, and the Page of Water. Wow, I don't think I've ever got the Knight, King, and the Page. Okay, let's start with the Page. Actually, let's start with how they are, because I think that the Knight is where you guys are. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, fickle, falling in love, being swept off your feet, a sudden love affair, a lack of balance in a relationship, situations, topics that make your heart flutter, a love of art and poetry. So that's definitely where Cancer is right now. Not at the Page position, but you can end up back at square one, which is why I feel like this one came out last, because the Page comes before the Knight, comes before the King. The King, trustworthy, honorable, devoted, cautious, someone you can completely trust, a situation that is safe, a solid romantic relationship, hidden but well-intended emotions, a charitable benefactor, seeking a counselor is what it says at the bottom of the card. But the King of Cups, or the King of Water, is a very emotionally evolved, stable person, relationship. And this is you know, where you could go. You could end up in the King's position, or you can end up back in the Page position. Sensitive, open-hearted, and experienced, moody, messages regarding relationships, new emotional experiences, a romantic encounter, social invitations or events, heightened psychic abilities, which you guys also have right now. So it's kind of like, okay, are we going to start off at square one? I guess it kind of is like a placement test. This was a bit of a confusing spread. Not confusing, but just kind of hard to explain. So hopefully you guys feel the vibes. But yeah, it's like you can start back at square one if you kind of, you know, don't pass this, or you can move on and finally experience what it is you've wanted to experience the entire time. It depends on you, Cancer. But that's what I got for you guys. Check me out on Etsy in the description below if you'd like your own private tarot reading for your protection. That's the only place you can get a read from me. Also, check out my completely free radio show. We listen to music, we pull cards, it's a vibe. I have playbacks of the previous shows as well in the description. Like this video, please. Subscribe to my channel. And that was your reading, Cancer. I love you. Be careful what you wish for, and I will see you in the next one. Tune into my radio show where I pull cards and play all the bangers on Stationhead in the description.